Hi, it's John of JWH Millinery and welcome back to my channel. So if you want to learn millinery tips and tricks, showcases, interviews, visits, all that sort of stuff, anything regarding millinery, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell to be notified when we release videos in future. Make sure you watch till the end of the video. We'll be talking a little bit about workshops that I'll be running in March. For those of you that haven't seen my workshops, they will be listed in the description box below, and I'll talk a little bit about them again at the end of the video. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this video to, we hit 10 last time, so how about we aim for 12 this week. So let's see if we can get this video to 12 likes by next week. So Milliner Showcase is here again, episode 6. Thank you to everybody that has taken part in this video. There's some beautiful hats that I'm going to show you. For those of you that haven't seen Milliner Showcase before, check out the playlist and you'll see lots of different milliners, all their different styles, techniques, everything like that. And even last time we did this video, we've showcased Justin Smith and his label J Smith Esquire. The playlist will be in the description box below. So let's get on with this week's Milliner Showcase. So this first piece is by Penny of CHUCHU, New York. So CHUCHU is a paper folding artist and milliner from New York. She trained as a milliner at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, which I'd love to study there. I would absolutely love to study there. She actually grew up in Hong Kong and now resides in New York. Now this piece is actually made from folded bits of paper and cardstock. Now this is a good example of using materials which are not normally used in millinery and putting them into such a beautiful and stunning piece. And majority of her work, in fact all of her work that I've seen, has this technique of paper folding in and incorporating that into such a gorgeous, stunning piece. She also says that being surrounded by incredible architecture coupled with long-standing interest in fashion prompts her to dissect her perception of these buildings and apply those concepts into the structure of her work. Recently she discovered paper folding, and really her paper folding is influenced by architecture and fashion. She also says the transformation of a sheet of paper into 3D complex object is so fascinating to her. Her freeform styling technique is liberating for her artwork, and its boundaries are only defined by her next concept. She can just sit down and start working and then let the material itself tell her what to do. She also wonders how she can turn lace into steel and steel into lace, and I love that idea of taking something and trying in a completely different setting than what it's used for. A bit of a challenge, and I'd love to see if you actually can manage to do that. Please keep me updated. That'd be really nice to see. It'd be really interesting to see what you could do with that. If you want to see more of Penny's work, I know recently she's been doing a lot of work with plastic as well, which is really stunning. I think there's like an iridescent one on her Instagram, which is like an iridescent leaf. I've just seen that recently. Beautiful. The work, I mean, go check her out. All her social media will be here on the screen and also linked in the description box below. So Penny, thank you very much. I know you submitted this a while ago and it's taken me around to do it now, so thank you so much. Thank you for being patient. And now let's move on to the second piece of this episode. So this second piece is by Natalie of Natalie Jane Millinery. So Natalie got into millinery because she loves horse racing and she loves fashion, so millinery really for her was a natural progression. And her dad would take her to horse racing all the time. And it wasn't just horse racing, it was any sort of racing, so harness racing, dog racing, horse racing, any sort of racing. It just seems to be in her blood. Then she met a husband who had the same passion, and when they did marry, they actually spent the celebration at the races on Golden Slipper Day, which she says was amazing and such unforgettable fun. And I can imagine, like, it's like a perfect For somebody that's really into that, oh my god, I wish I could see pictures. If you've got pictures, make sure you send me them. That'd be really nice to see. Natalie says she's always been very creative, and this is an outlet for her to express this. And I seem to see that quite a lot in milliners, like they've, because millinery is not something that people just, I would say, they don't grow up with, I want to be a miller. It's kind of something that, from my experience, a lot of people stumble in. Maybe they've been to the races. For me, I wanted to be a fashion designer, and my technical skills weren't amazing, so I ended up doing sort of accessories. And I'd never thought about it, but actually, I'm so glad I'm part of this really tight-knit, close community of the millinery industry. So 8 years ago, she had the opportunity to study millinery and has never really looked back. And what started as a hobby has now turned into quite a successful business. She says she finds her inspiration in different textures, different seasons, and pretty much just by experimenting and seeing what happens. Sometimes the most wonderful piece comes about from a mistake that's happened. I know recently I saw something on Facebook, somebody had a brim had split or something, and it turned into a completely different design just because one little element broke, and it was still a beautiful piece. It just wasn't exactly what she was planning when she first started. She said she loves really big, bold statement pieces, so boaters, perches, that sort of thing. And she also loves height because she said she's quite small, and it just gives her that extra oomph really to, we all know a nice tall hat just adds so much more to somebody who's not necessarily got genetically gifted in the tall skills like me. If I was a woman, I'd have the biggest hat because I'm only 5'6", and most women are actually taller than me as well. So I always ask people, what was the inspiration for this piece? Who was it for? Where's it going? Da, da, da. And this is such a beautiful story, so I just want to read this, and I'll show you. It's so beautiful. So she created this beautiful lace headpiece a few years ago that unintentionally now represents her brand. The headpiece is a very sentimental story, and this is why it's never been for sale. Though a lot of people have tried to purchase it, and you can see, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. And the influence for this particular piece was her amazing mum. Many years ago, her mum found this unassuming fabric store in Lisbon, Portugal. And in this store, she found a bag of exquisite lace and fabrics, which were her gift to Natalie from her European adventures. She didn't have a particular design in mind, but over several days she experimented with making the lace into flowers, and the shape just evolved. Her mum is her biggest fan and a huge influence in her life. However, she's currently very, very ill. This particular headpiece was the finalist in the recent Brisbane Fashion Month creative competition, and as a result was on the fashion runway, which was incredibly exciting. Unfortunately, her mum was too sick to attend the event. She didn't win, but that's okay. She made her very proud, and that's what counts. That is such a beautiful story. Natalie, thank you very much for sharing that with me, and thank you for sharing it with all my viewers. Thank you for being honest about this, and I hope everything works out. I hope that you're going to get some love and support from the viewers of this channel. So everybody that's watching this, make sure you follow her on all her social media. It will all be linked here at the side of me, also in the description box below. Go show her some love, on her Instagram, on her Facebook, on everything you can possibly find, and let's see if Natalie's mum can be even more proud of her than she currently is. So after that beautiful story, quite sad but beautiful story, let's move on to the third and final person in this Milliner Showcase. So this third and final piece is by Gulia of Julia Mio, Haute Couture Millinery. Now I've been stalking Julia for a while, in a nice way, and once again, just certain milliners that I'm like, this work is just so beautiful. They'll never say to me, yes, let me be a part of your little channel on YouTube. I have had people in the past say to me, why would I want to do that? Do you know how big I already am? I'm like, okay, I, not saying that she was going to be like this, but I was a little bit apprehensive. I was like, oh my god, she's going to say no, she's going to, And actually when I did approach her, she was the most lovely lady. We've been chatting on Instagram. She's a very nice lady, and if you check out her Instagram, which will all be linked in the description box below, and it's here somewhere once I've talked about her a bit more, her work is beautiful. And this particular piece, I was like, I really want to show this, and as you can see from the image, it's such a stunning piece. So now I've done my little fanboy thing, let's get into the inspiration and everything about this piece. So Julia doesn't actually come from the fashion world. She actually did set and costume design at the Academy of Fine Arts in Venice, and then went on to do costume design for theatre as a master's at the Academy of Fine Arts in Milan. She then went to work in theatrical millinery and started looking at millinery in fashion and couture, and then finally moved to the UK in 2003, and then finally set up her label Julia Mio Haute Couture Millinery in 2015. When asked where do you get your general inspiration from, once again everybody struggles with this question because we're not inspired by one general thing, we're inspired by everything. Julia says that, you know, she digs into historical fashion background and looking at the past, and if you look at some of her work, it's not heavily influenced, but there is a little influence there from the historical past of costume and fashion. She said she loves nature, its colours and its textures. That's why she ends up making her own floral pieces for the headwear. I mean, this piece in question, she made everything herself, nothing was store-bought, everything. And I think in this image, you'll be able to see all her petals and leaves and everything ready cut so she can assemble the flower together. She said the giants of the past are a massive inspiration for her, so Dior, Chanel, Balenciaga, Valentino, I mean, you know, they are classic, timeless, and we'll be taking inspiration from them for many years. When asked what millinery trend she's actually looking forward to, her response was, and actually this is quite funny, like, millinery is part of fashion, but she actually sees it as an area with its own mind, and I very much agree with that. She said she doesn't like to follow trends and seasons so much. The only thing she's really concerned about is making sure people wear hats more often. So this piece, she says, is a classic example of Julia wants to play with new things. Let's just see what she can come up with. And she had a new block that she wanted to try, and she'd never properly blocked a hat in leather before. So there you go, I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece, and that takes a lot of skill. I've done leather blocking on this channel before, and it didn't work out as beautiful as this, I have to tell you. But to be clear, she doesn't always work like that. When she's designing for a client, she does a lot of research. They discuss together the style, the colour, and the materials, and she also produces some sketches. The leather purchase was something she just wanted to try, an experiment, for example, and something to push her boundaries a bit more and to test her skills. The materials she used are soft mustard yellow leather, purple chantilly lace, Bergen satin bias, hand-dyed and handmade silk rolls and leaves backed with a metallic gold chiffon, some hand-twisted ostrich quills, purple dupion silk for the lining, and the base is made with 2 layers of buckram and millinery wire. So, I mean, this piece is amazing, and I remember seeing this and I was like, I really want to feature the yellow and purpley blue piece, which was like, okay, I was like, that's the one I want. So thank you very much, Julia. Thank you very much for letting me showcase you on this channel, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you at London Hat Week 2018. Make sure you check Julia out at all her social media links that will be linked at the side of me just here and in the description box below. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Milliner Showcase. If you want to take part, make sure you email me at millinershowcase@gmail.com with some images, and I will respond with some questions about the hat, and hopefully we can get you featured in an upcoming episode. Make sure you also have a look at our workshops, which will be running in March during London Hat Week. Now, like I said, I am not affiliated or endorsed by London Hat Week. I have to say that every time. just so I don't get into any trouble when anybody tries to sue me. Because this is YouTube and everybody wants to sue everybody on YouTube. So we have a 3D printing workshop, we have wearable tech workshop, we have come and sit down with me in an episode of what's in a Hatbox, we have a brunch with very limited places. I think there's only 11 places on that. We have a shopping tour of London, and we also have a collection launch. So I'll be launching my very first full collection instead of just making one-off pieces. I will actually be coming up with a collection which you are all invited to if you're going to be in London at that time. So if you book by the end of November, you get 10% off with the offer code HATS10. Make sure you follow everybody that I've mentioned in this video. All their links will be in the description box below, and also all mine will be there and here as well. And I look forward to seeing you next week, where we have a tutorial which I've yet to decide what I'm going to do, but we will have a tutorial next week. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week.